Product quality has been appreciated. Most important thing for this market is that the temperatures are high, the specifications keep changing. Therefore, our research and development has continuously helped us in bringing product for this market. Coming to the new developments that is happening in this market, the Blue Star board took the decision in 2017, looking at the future of this business in this region, which can grow, that we should invest in this market. And therefore, we have now set up in 2017 a head office for the international operations at the Dubai Airport Free Zone. After that, now we are further investing into Blue Star System and Solution Company, which will undertake the air conditioning and refrigeration projects in this market. Apart from that, we have also set up a showroom, which is a state-of-art showroom, the Airport Road in Dubai, which will cater to the complete market, demonstrating the strengths of the products that Blue Star manufactures and caters to. In addition to this, the Blue Star is further investing in this region by setting up a company called Blue Star System and Solution Company, which will undertake the project business in this market for refrigeration and air conditioning systems, and also look after the services of the region. So this is another addition to ensure that the products that we supply to the market are well looked after for service perspective and the spare part perspective. So there is an end-to-end service solution to the client. We have catered to airports, hotels, the largest malls all over this region. Today, Blue Star, a name synonymous with quality, trust, delivering world-class customer satisfaction. And hence our proven tagline, experts in cooling.
The economic environment is tough, especially since we've had this COVID crisis that turned the world on its head. And as a bank, I think there are 2 or 3 or 4 key aspects we like to look at. The one is, of course, we're a funder. So we've got a very important role to play, and we can see it in some of the results of our clients, where we fund quite aggressively into the agricultural sector. So that's an enormous force for improvement and progression across the continent. So credit appetite and risk appetite is an important factor. The second is we help clients with risk management in terms of our forex and interest rate hedging strategies and products and solutions we can offer. And that is very important in the African context.
Solar energy, power from the sun, is a vast, inexhaustible, and clean resource. It is the energy of the future, for the future, bringing vital solutions in many important spheres, including in extremely critical areas like agriculture. At Shakti Pumps, we understand that the future of agriculture clearly depends on our ability to utilize solar power. That is why we have successfully harnessed this monumental and unparalleled source of energy by developing world-class solar power irrigation and water supply systems involving stainless steel submersible pumps, motors, and allied equipments. Today, we are widely acknowledged as global leaders in solar-powered irrigation and water supply systems, with products and solutions well accepted in Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, and the Middle East. No wonder we have reached a milestone of over 100,000 pumps installed in more than 120 countries all across the globe. Shakti Pumps has set up some of the most advanced assembly lines anywhere in the world. Here's a look at some of those wonders. The Electronics and Controls Unit is equipped with state-of-the-art machineries to manufacture all electronic equipment. This automated machine is capable of printing a PCB in less than 10 seconds. An astounding 120,000 components can be picked up and placed on PCBs in an hour's duration in this artificial intelligence-enabled machine. After a detailed visual inspection, the PCB goes through an insertion line for larger components. The highly advanced robotic soldering unit for critical components ensures optimum quality and finish. Each individual part of the circuit is tested in this universal tester to ensure flawless working, leading to the final assembled product. The pump manufacturing unit involves a number of processes to deliver quality pumps that last longer. Automatic circle cutting machine setup is highly productive, designed to optimize sheet utilization with the finest finish. A series of cupping operations prepare individual pump components with great precision.
Headquartered in Dubai, Blue Star International FCCO helps Blue Star get closer to its growing customer base in the global marketplace. Incorporated in 2017, it is a wholly owned subsidiary of Blue Star Limited. It manages the global products sales and project division, which caters to the exports of air conditioning and commercial refrigeration products and systems. Besides this, Blue Star International oversees 2 joint venture undertaking MEP projects in the Middle East and Malaysia.
Blue Star has been in the international arena for over 60 years. Our first 2 relationships that were established in this region were through Al Ghanim of Kuwait and Al Rustamani Group of UAE. This relationships then developed into other relationships, wherein we have now spread over 18 countries in this region, in the Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia, and our business has been continuously growing. Our product quality has been appreciated. Most important thing for this market is that the temperatures are high, the specifications keep changing. Therefore, our research and development has continuously helped us in bringing product for this market. Coming to the new developments that is happening in this market, the Blue Star board took the decision in 2017, looking at the future of this business in this region, which can grow, that we should invest in this market. And therefore, we have now set up in 2017 a head office for the international operations at the Dubai Airport Free Zone. After that, now we are further investing into Blue Star System and Solution Company, which will undertake the air conditioning and refrigeration projects in this market. Apart from that, we have also set up a showroom, which is a state-of-the-art showroom, the Airport Road in Dubai, which will cater to the complete market, demonstrating the strengths of the products that Blue Star manufactures and caters to. In addition to this, the Blue Star is further investing in this region by setting up a company called Blue Star System and Solution Company, which will undertake the project business in this market for refrigeration and air conditioning systems, and also look after the services of the region. So this is another addition to ensure that the products that we supply to the market are well looked after for service perspective and the spare part perspective. So there is an end-to-end service solution to the client. We have catered to airports, hotels, the largest malls all over this region. Today, Blue Star, a name synonymous with quality, trust, delivering world-class customer satisfaction. And hence our proven tagline, experts in cooling.
The economic environment is tough, especially since we've had this COVID crisis that turned the world on its head. And as a bank, I think there are 2 or 3 or 4 key aspects we like to look at. The one is, of course, we're a funder. So we've got a very important role to play, and we can see it in some of the results of our clients, where we fund quite aggressively into the agricultural sector. So that's an enormous force for improvement and progression across the continent. So credit appetite and risk appetite is an important factor. The second is we help clients with risk management in terms of our forex and interest rate hedging strategies and products and solutions we can offer. And that is very important in the African context.
Solar energy, power from the sun, is a vast, inexhaustible, and clean resource. It is the energy of the future, for the future, bringing vital solutions in many important spheres, including in extremely critical areas like agriculture. At Shakti Pumps, we understand that the future of agriculture clearly depends on our ability to utilize solar power. That is why we have successfully harnessed this monumental and unparalleled source of energy by developing world-class solar power irrigation and water supply systems involving stainless steel submersible pumps, motors, and allied equipments. Today, we are widely acknowledged as global leaders in solar-powered irrigation and water supply systems, with products and solutions well accepted in Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, and the Middle East. No wonder we have reached a milestone of over 100,000 pumps installed in more than 120 countries all across the globe. Shakti Pumps has set up some of the most advanced assembly lines anywhere in the world. Here's a look at some of those wonders. The Electronics and Controls Unit is equipped with state-of-the-art machineries to manufacture all electronic equipments. This automated machine is capable of printing a PCB in less than 10 seconds. An astounding 120,000 components can be picked up and placed on PCBs in an hour's duration in this artificial intelligence-enabled machine. After a detailed visual inspection, the PCB goes through an insertion line for larger components. The highly advanced robotic soldering unit for critical components ensures optimum quality and finish. Each individual part of the circuit is tested in this universal tester to ensure flawless working, leading to the final assembled product. The pump manufacturing unit involves a number of processes to deliver quality pumps that last longer. Automatic circle cutting machine setup is highly productive, designed to optimize sheet utilization with the finest finish. A series of embossing and cupping operations prepare individual pump components with great precision.
Headquartered in Dubai, Blue Star International FCCO helps Blue Star get closer to its growing customer base in the global marketplace. Incorporated in 2017, it is a wholly owned subsidiary of Blue Star Limited. It manages the Global Products Sales and Project Division, which caters to the exports of air conditioning and commercial refrigeration products and systems. Besides this, Blue Star International oversees two joint venture undertaking MEP projects in the Middle East and Malaysia.
Blue Star has been in the international arena for over 60 years. Our first two relationships that were established in this region were through Al Ghanim of Kuwait and Al Rustamani Group of UAE. These relationships then developed into other relationships wherein we have now spread over 18 countries in this region, in the Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia, and our business has been continuously growing. Our product quality has been appreciated. Most important thing for this market is that the temperatures are high, the specifications keep changing. Therefore, our research and development has continuously helped us in bringing product for this market. Coming to the new developments that is happening in this market, the Blue Star board took the decision in 2017, looking at the future of this business in this region, which can grow, that we should invest in this market. And therefore, we have now set up in 2017 a head office for the international operations at the Dubai Airport Free Zone. After that, now we are further investing in Blue Star company, which will undertake the air conditioning and refrigeration projects in this market. Apart from that, we have also set up a showroom, which is a state-of-art showroom, the Airport Road in Dubai, which will cater to the complete market, demonstrating the strengths of the products that Blue Star manufactures and caters to. In addition to this, the Blue Star is further investing in this region by setting up a company called Blue Star System and Solution Company, which will undertake the project business in this market for refrigeration and air conditioning systems, and also look after the services of the region. So this is another addition to ensure that the products that we supply to the market are well looked after for service perspective and the spare part perspective. So there is an end-to-end service solution to the client. We have catered to airports, hotels, the largest malls all over this region. Today, Blue Star, a name synonymous with quality, trust, delivering world-class customer satisfaction, and hence our proven tagline, experts in cooling.
The economic environment is tough, especially since we've had this COVID crisis that turned the world on its head. And as a bank, I think there are 2 or 3 or 4 key aspects we like to look at. The one is, of course, we're a funder. So we've got a very important role to play, and we can see it in some of the results of our clients, where we fund quite aggressively into the agricultural sector. So that's an enormous force for improvement and progression across the continent. So credit appetite and risk appetite is an important factor. The second is we help clients with risk management in terms of our forex and interest rate hedging strategies and products and solutions we can offer. And that is very important in the African context.
Solar energy, power from the sun, is a vast, inexhaustible, and clean resource. It is the energy of the future, for the future, bringing vital solutions in many important spheres, including in extremely critical areas like agriculture. At Shakti Pumps, we understand that the future of agriculture clearly depends on our ability to utilize solar power. That is why we have successfully harnessed this monumental and unparalleled source of energy by developing world-class solar power irrigation and water supply systems involving stainless steel submersible pumps, motors, and allied equipment. Today, we are widely acknowledged as global leaders in solar-powered irrigation and water supply systems, with products and solutions well accepted in Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, and the Middle East. No wonder we have reached a milestone of over 100,000 pumps installed in more than 120 countries all across the globe. Shakti Pumps has the most advanced assembly lines anywhere in the world. Here's a look at some of those wonders. The Electronics and Controls Unit is equipped with state-of-the-art machineries to manufacture all electronic equipments. This automated machine is capable of printing a PCB in less than 10 seconds.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
I think it's afternoon at your place.
It's morning here.
It's morning. It's morning. So at my place, it is just afternoon. It's 1 o'clock, 1:30. So nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
A big pleasure for my side. And to introduce yourself in the session. So I'm going to be the moderator, but of course I will take just a few minutes to introduce the topic and to introduce yourself and all the panelists.
So hi, good evening, everybody. This is Pooja from CII. We'll take a few minutes to start this session as we're starting sharp by 5. So in the meantime, in case if you want any clarifications, you can check with us. Though we are already on live stream right now, but Marcelo, do you want to put up some points, or do you have anything specific? We can discuss it over.
Not specifically. We're just making, let me say, each other acquaintance. So, and I don't know whether all the panelists are online. I see Dr. Jacob online and Arvind Kumar also online. So everything looks kind of smooth. I just want to remind the panelists that apart the special address of Dr. Karim and Mr. Mude, that everyone will have 9 minutes speech to present his view regarding the topic and the discussion. As I said, I will introduce the topic for a few minutes. I will introduce the panelists and the special guests, and then I will launch the discussion. And one by one, I will present the panelists. So that's mostly, there's nothing new, I feel. So that's it basically. You have anything to add, Mrs. Pooja?
No, not really. I think we are good to go. We'll just wait for 5 minutes more. And probably we can start with me introducing Mr. Marcelo, and then to that we're introducing each respective speakers.
All the connection are fine, Mrs. Pooja?
Yes, please. As of now, seems okay. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, perfect. Perfect. I mean, have you seen? I created a background.
Yes, that's so wonderful. Thank you.
So I can share it for tomorrow if you want.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
What you suggested during the speech to disconnect the video as well as audio, or just audio?
I think it's just the audio. I don't think we have the presentation as of now. The respective speakers, please confirm if any one of you has the presentation to roll on, or everybody would be speaking. One sec.
I will be speaking. Thank you.
Yeah, same for me. I don't have any presentation.
All right.
Same for me. I don't have any presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Doctor, I see Baba Femi Oladeji. You're pretty much dark. I don't know whether you can put some light or something. Yeah, audible but not visible, unfortunately. Okay, this.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they are there. So
Okay. I don't know. You say you remember the connect.
they don't connect.
Oh.
Yeah.
That switch, I don't try for some.
Okay, another one day. This one I don't. I'm gonna go put this one self up.
The short copy, you did it.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. I see that way you put my last part.
yeah.
I don't take that one.
When I in this wire, where they can deliver the speech.
Okay, now in this one we send out the WhatsApp.
Yeah, yeah.
Where we know WhatsApp for that particular level there.
Yeah.
Then I got two videos.
Okay.
Of one of the YouTube channels.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Last match of
स्पीकर कहाँ है?
Good evening, Mr. Muda.
Yeah, good evening. Sorry, I got delayed.
No, you are perfectly on time, and I just wanted to have a very quick interaction with you. So I am the moderator, so I will have just 5 minutes introduction. Then I will launch the special guests starting from as per program, Dr. Karim, and then afterwards it will be up to you and you will have a 10 minutes address, and then afterwards we will enter into the panel. So very easy, and it's my pleasure to get to know yourself.
So I think we can start this session now. Okay, so dear all, very good evening. Let me welcome you all to the first India-Africa Agriculture and Food Processing Summit 2021. I have a great pleasure in inviting our session moderator for today, Mr. Marcelo Personi, who is an industry expert, agriculture mechanism from Agro Tractors. He would introduce our respective speakers and panelists for the session, focusing on boosting farm level productivity. Over to you, Mr. Personi.
So good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning, wherever you are. My welcome goes to the special guests and dignitaries which are present. His Excellency, Honorable Dr. Abu Bakar Karim, Minister of Agriculture and Forestry of Republic of Sierra Leone, Honorable Mr. Sevala Naik Mude, Joint Secretary for Central and West Africa for Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. My welcome goes to honorable experts and panelists, which I will introduce later. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to the Confederation of Indian Industry, Indian Africa Agriculture Core Group and its chairman, Mr. Vahi, for giving me the honor and opportunity of being moderator of this session. Myself is Marcello Personini, with 15 years of experience in the tractor industry in India, along with the deep expertise in emerging and developing countries in agri-field, such as Africa and Southeast Asia. As mentioned today, session topic is boosting farm level productivity. Africa, of course, is a continent, and the different areas are there with the completely different type of business and physical environment sometimes regarding agribusiness, but for sure with certain number of commonalities. One of these common points, probably the main one, regards the farm level productivity, which will be discussed today. Africa population will become twice the actual population in 30 years' time, and more than 3 times in 70 years to go, so within the end of the century. So within 2030, 35, the urban population will equalize the rural population. 50% of the continent will rely on the remaining 50%, and afterwards, less and less people will be, let me say, responsible to feed the remaining. Agriculture and agribusiness are projected to be 1 trillion industry by 2030 by World Bank, compared to $300 billion in 2010, means 3 times, only in Sub-Saharan Africa. Both domestic and global markets are experiencing a strong demand, which is likely to continue even as domestic demand accelerates. Despite the great potential in most African countries, agriculture and agribusiness have been losing the competitiveness race. Crop yields are often half of averages in Asia and Latin America. The farm mechanization, which has been identified also by FAO as the most critical factor to boost farm level productivity, is average 1/4 or even 1/5, and in some cases even less, from the most mature and better organized countries. How to improve the farm level productivity? Of course, in terms of facilitating the access to input markets, building skills and entrepreneurship, operational, technical, and managerial skills, best practices, creating the proper infrastructure, the access to financial tools, and how to ensure inclusive investments involving smallholder farmers will be discussed today. And also we'll try to understand how Indian industry can support this product. That will be discussed through our important panel of experts who have joined me today on this virtual stage. Let me introduce quickly the panel. Mr. Dr. Otumba Femi Oke, which is Chairman of Farmers Association of Nigeria for Lagos State and Southwest. Mr. Jacob Christopher Nirongo, which is CEO for Farmer Union of Malawi. Mr. Anish Jain, Chief Treasury Officer for ETG Group. Mr. Narashima Rao, which is Head of Export for Coromandel International Ltd. Dr. Arvind Kumar, which is Deputy Director General Research and Regional Director for Asia ICRI SAT. So I invite now His Excellency Dr. Abu Kabar Karim to provide his special address. Dr. Abu Karim is an all-round development professional who has over 30 years working experience in both the developed and developing world. Dr. Kami is currently the Minister of Agriculture and Forestry. Given that his passion has been waking up and strengthening the potential of the local population for improved livelihood enhancement. This role provides him the best platform to achieve this vision while focusing on the achievement of the President's development agenda. So, Dr. Karim, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator, the Chairman, His Excellencies, colleague ministers present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to take the opportunity firstly to thank you for giving me the platform to be able to address this summit, and really to thank the organizers. And by extension, obviously, this is giving the opportunity to Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone and India have enjoyed many decades of bilateral relationship based on historical ties and socioeconomic interests. This relationship built on trust between Indians and Africans have promoted trade and recently made India the place of choice for medical tourism for many Africans. Over the years, trade between India and Africa has increased more than eightfold from $7.2 billion in 2001 to $59.9 billion in 2017. Making India Africa's fourth largest national trading partner, accounting for more than 6.4% of total African trade in 2017, up to 2.7% in 2001. Agriculture and agribusiness plays important role in the economies of both India and Sierra Leone, and rice trade production and trade have brought India and Africa even closer together. However, while India has developed its rice value chain to the extent of being one of the global leading rice exporters, several African countries have remained net importers of rice. The lessons of how India transformed its rice sector to become a global partner and the role of the food processing industry in transforming agriculture is one area that I see relevance and importance of this summit. Regarding my country, Sierra Leone, despite the long-standing historical and socio-economic relationship and growing trade in other areas, investment in agriculture and agribusiness has remained unexploited. Data on trade between the two countries shows that in 2019, the total export value from India to Sierra Leone was $127 million, while the total value of product exported from Sierra Leone to India was only $18.2 million. With respect to main product exports from India to Sierra Leone, rice remained the most important, accounting for 13.54, translating to $17.2 million. Packaged medicaments account for 12.7%, which is about $16 million, and raw plastic sheet, 11.2%. That is accounting for about 14.2 million in 2019. Regrettably, while India is exporting value-added product to Sierra Leone main exports to India comprises of scrap metal, accounting for 42% of the trade value. Aluminium ore accounts for 34.6%, and scrap aluminium account for 1%. I believe that we have better opportunities to increase investment and trade between India and Sierra Leone, not just in the export of scrap metals, but in agribusiness. Agribusiness, including the food processing sector, is a key sector of our economy, contributing more than half of the GDP and accounting for the largest share of labor market. Although Sierra Leone is a small country by size, our location on the Atlantic coast provides a door to business in Africa. Sierra Leone is a member of the Mano River Union along with Cote d'Ivoire and the countries with which it shares borders, that is Liberia and Guinea. Importantly, Sierra Leone is a member of the Economic Community of West African States, that's the ECOWAS, which provides access to a sub-regional market comprising 16 countries with a population of 400 million people and a nominal GDP of about 656 billion per annum. In addition, Sierra Leone is a signatory to the African Continental Free Trade Agreement with an aggregate GDP of $2.1 trillion. Thus, Sierra Leone has access to a market size of 1.27 billion people, projected to rise to 1.7 billion by 2020, with a middle class target of 600 million people by 2030. What this means is that a win-win partnership with India and Sierra Leone in promoting agriculture and food processing provides huge opportunity for investment and trade. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, commercial farming and primary processing of commodities such as rice, oil palm, cacao, coffee, cashew nuts, fruits, and other niche crops and livestock is becoming increasingly important, contributing about 16% of agricultural value added. Therefore, I see much opportunity for investors in India to invest in food processing, manufacturing, and distribution of machines and equipment for food processing and technologies for enhancing food quality and safety. Thus, I see better investment opportunities between between India and Africa, and in particular Sierra Leone. The food processing industry will provide the engine and fuel to ignite job creation, wealth, and growth in our respective economies. It is in this respect that in 2019, my ministry started a policy shift with the objective of encouraging private sector investment in food production. Other objectives of our agricultural policy includes making farming attractive and profitable, supporting private sector investment in agricultural input machinery, equipment, and value addition in food processing, ensuring that farmers have access to farm input services, and then improving access to finance. The policy shift also aims to increase rice production and processing and to ensure that we reduce the import bill of $200 million annually. We have also put in place the necessary institutions and legislation to support private sector investment in the agricultural sector. In this respect, we have created the Fertilizer Regulatory Agency and a Seed Regulatory Agency. These two agencies are geared towards ensuring that good quality fertilizers and seeds are produced in Sierra Leone or imported and made available to our farmers. We have also established a new body chaired by the president and co-chaired by the vice president to champion and promote private sector investment in the country. The government is putting in place a legislation this year that will integrate the Investment Promotion Agency, corporate regulator, and the public-private partnership unit into a single agency. We are working with the World Bank on an initiative to overall regulatory framework for business, creating a one-stop shop for engaging with government, scrapping unnecessary charges of duties, and reducing bureaucracy. Mr. Chairman, what we want to create is a modern agricultural agribusiness sector, starting with large-scale commercial rice farming and fisheries, as well as key cash crops, forestry, and livestock. Our focus is on both attracting investment into large-scale commercial farming and in modernizing smallholder sector and transforming to commercial grower for both domestic and wider global market. All of this requires a functioning food processing industry. Thus, we welcome this.
Please, Dr. Karim, come to the conclusion. Thank you.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, thank you.
We welcome this India-Africa Agriculture and Food Processing Summit hosted by the Confederation of Indian Industries. In my closing remark, I offer to the private sector, particularly those in the food processing industry, a win-win strategic partnership to invest in Sierra Leone. I hope that following this conference, we will be able to engage in a more detailed dialogue around the strategic investment opportunities for Indian agribusiness in Sierra Leone. Thank you all.
Thank you, His Excellency Dr. Karim, for your highly interesting speech. Let me introduce the next special guest, Mr. Sevala Naik Mude, which is Joint Secretary for Central and West Africa of External Affairs Government of India. And Mr. Mude, just a quick presentation, is a career diplomat, joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1995. He has served Indian missions in Tehran, Rome, and in the Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi, and Director in Central Europe Division. Prior to the present appointment of Joint Secretary in charge of Central and West Africa Division, he served as India's High Commissioner to Jamaica and Bahamas. Mr. Mude Sevala Naik is a graduate in commerce and obtained master degree in business management. Mr. Mude, stage is yours. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you very much. Mr. Marcelo, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, right. Yeah. Since I served in Rome, I believe you are also from Italy.
Yeah, we can speak in Italian, but it's not the case.
Okay, right, let me begin with Excellency Dr. Abu Bakr Karim, Minister of Agriculture and Forestry, Government of Republic of Sierra Leone, other colleagues. I'm extremely delighted and I feel proud and privileged that I got this opportunity to give my special speech at this important summit hosted by the CII at the right time, India-Africa Agriculture and Food Processing Summit. Well, let me share about India's relations with Africa. And India enjoys very historical and cultural linkages since ages with Africa. And our common platform has been to fight against the colonial rule and then united together and got independence. From such perspectives, and we built our relations over a period of time. And we enjoy that cordial and friendly relations with the entire Africa. And today, our friends in Africa, 54 countries, are not only friend to India, but we work together and cooperate together at various international forums. India is committed for the economic development and development partnership of Africa. And we work together with a great confidence, trust, and friendship. Our commitment for Africa is to provide the required financing, required technology, required expertise, and sharing our knowledge, and also provide educational facilities, health issues, etc., etc. Well, with this background, I think we need to discuss about how to increase the farm level productivity in Africa. The first and foremost for the entire global is food security. The food security is very crucial for any economic progress of the world. That also applies to Africa. Africa being very fertile land, has the arable land is massive for agriculture growth, but at the moment its productivity compared to the world is very less per acre. Therefore, what is missing? Once upon the Africa, some of the countries were surplus producing countries, and they are not only meeting their own demand, and then they were supplying for the entire Africa and outside Africa. And today they are net importer in most of the countries. The agricultural land has become barren. There is no cultivation. There is no motivation to cultivate. There are certain difficulties faced by the African continent, including the climate change. In some of the largest lakes in Africa are drying up, and then slowly desertification is taking place because of the conflict and then constant violence in some of the regions. The farmers in those areas are migrating and moving to other areas. So therefore, the concentration or the work on agriculture is declining over a period of time. So how to improve upon? There is a huge potential in increasing the productivity level in Africa. It's not just by applying fertilizers and chemicals to improve, but there are several ways to do it. First and foremost thing is that there should be a strong government policy in promoting agriculture. At the moment, see, most of the countries are concentrating on the service sector and to some extent production industries and then tourism, etc., but neglecting agriculture, which is very crucial for the food security of the countries. Therefore, the government policy should focus in increasing and helping and promoting and encouraging the farmers to cultivate. And government also should develop high yield crops. Well, India and many other countries have developed such crops, and then we should be able to share with them and encourage them to utilize those high yield crops developed by the other countries. The overall cost competitiveness is not just yielding. Therefore, the competitiveness should improve in every region. Also should adopt certain modern techniques in farming the lands. So those modern technology, what you call mechanization, should use efficient way of cultivation. Thereby, the productivity per acre will increase tremendously. Like what we have seen in India when the Green Revolution took place, the overall development in agriculture sector has multiplied. That includes improving the water supply, irrigation systems, and then high yield seeds, development of the high yield seeds, and then consolidating the land holding, and then support from the government, where not only at inputs like fertilizers, chemicals, seeds supply at a consistent rate, a timely submission, and also supplying them crop insurance, and then and also providing a minimum rate for the purchase of the procurement produced by the. So these are the few modern efficient way of improving and the productivity in the farming. Some of the Western countries where I have traveled in recent time, they have a huge land area for the agriculture, and in some countries, even Indian farmers have gone and set up and doing agriculture. For instance, in Senegal, one company from Gujarat is producing potatoes is at a greater rate, and the productivity is extremely 4 or 5 times multiplying than the normal one. So this is basically following certain modern techniques and economizing the use of the water, land utility, and other inputs. Most important thing in Africa is land reform. The ownership is also very important. That gives encouragement and increase their productivity. That gives also inclusiveness in mind. Make better use of information technology as well. So the present farmers across the global, they use the information technology for the better crop, fertilizer, pesticide selection, etc. Particularly the weather information, and connecting farmers to sources of various credit, etc., and then market opportunities. So I think they should utilize this information technology which is available in the market, and also they also should introduce the global best practices. As Personi also mentioned that the best practices is extremely useful in increasing the productivity, and also improve the market access and regulations and governance. So these three should go in hand. Then only there will be what you call a collaborative effort in increasing the productivity. So there should basically there should be interest by the farmers of the local community to do the farming. And if they are slowly slipping away from the farming to small town and or urban areas, they are neglecting actually. And then there also you need a food by moving from agriculture area to city. City doesn't provide you food. So therefore, you need to have that hand in hand. But some of the Western African countries, they are rich with cash crops, particularly cashew nuts, and then coffee beans, etc. But neglecting at other crops like rice production is important. They are all importing today. Most of the countries import and paying a huge amount of foreign exchange. I think they should also diversify. If I'm running, if I'm running short of time, tell me. You can. I'm almost done.
Yes, sir. So almost. Yes, we are running out of time. So if you can come to the closing remarks, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And I extremely grateful to the opportunity. And then there is a huge potential in Africa, and to increase the productivity, and it's required coordinated efforts among all the members of the country. Thank you very much for giving, and hope the remaining sessions will be very useful and productive. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mude, for the honor made to us to be with us and address the panelists. Now we start with the 5 panelists. It's a pleasure of mine to introduce Dr. Otumba Femi Oke, which is chairman for All Farmers Association of Nigeria, Lagos State and Southwest, whose mission is to chart a new course in the promotion and development of the new attitude towards maximizing the benefit of the agriculture promotion policy of the federal government to the Nigerian farmers. And the vision is empowering the nation through agriculture. So, Dr. Otumba Femi Oke, the stage is yours. Hello? I think your microphone is off. Now it's on. You should start speaking. Hello? Hello? It looks like you are having some technical issues. Hello? So, can we, while you are trying to address the microphone, can maybe ask the following panelist, Mr. Jacob Christopher Nirongo, which is executive officer, chief executive officer for Farmers Union of Malawi, to have its own, let's say, kind speech. Farmers Union of Malawi is an umbrella body of farmers organization in Malawi. Its mission is to promote and safeguard the interest of all farmers in Malawi and create a conducive agriculture operating environment for improved agriculture productivity, market access, and increased farmer income. So, Dr. Jacob, the stage is yours. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you, moderator.
Please.
Thank you, moderator, Mr. Marcelo. Your Excellency, Dr. Abubakar Karim, Minister of Agriculture and Forestry, Government of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Your Honor, Mr. Sebala Mude, Joint Secretary, Minister of External Affairs, the Government of India. All protocols observed. Let me begin by thanking the Confederation of Indian Industry for extending an invitation to me to be part of this session. India and Africa and Malawi in particular have a long history of cooperation, and it is only natural that the India-Africa Agriculture and Food Processing Summit 2021 is focusing on promoting sustainable partnerships for the mutual benefit of the people of India and Africa. As a way of background, most developing countries, and indeed African countries, have an economy strongly dominated by the agriculture sector. Agriculture generates up to 50% of gross domestic product, contributing more than 80% of trade in value and more than 50% of raw materials to industries. It provides employment for the majority of Africa's people. Despite this domination and the fact that agriculture is backed with good policy documents and statements, investment in the sector is still underdeveloped in most African countries, including Malawi. Furthermore, 30 to 40% of agricultural produce is lost owing to poor post-harvest handling, storage, and processing methods. Therefore, there is high potential for lateral expansion of the agricultural sector at all levels. The low level of engineering technology inputs in agriculture has been cited as one of the main constraints hindering the modernization of agriculture and food production systems in Africa. At the African Union Summit in Malabo in June 2014, heads of state and government adopted a remarkable set of concrete agricultural goals to be attained by 2025. The Malabo Declaration on Accelerated Agricultural Growth and Transformation for Shared Prosperity and Improved Livelihoods is a set of new goals showing a more targeted approach to achieve the agricultural vision for the continent, which is shared prosperity and improved livelihoods. And one of the commitments is a commitment to ending hunger in Africa by 2025. And I quote, "We commit to ending hunger in Africa by 2025, and to this end, we resolve to accelerate agricultural growth by at least doubling current agricultural productivity levels by the year 2025. In doing so, we will create and enhance the necessary appropriate policy and institutional conditions and support systems to facilitate sustainable and reliable production and access to quality and affordable inputs for crops, livestock, fisheries, among others, through, among other things, provision of smart protection to smallholder agriculture, but also supply of appropriate knowledge, information, and skills to users, efficient and effective water management systems, notably through irrigation, suitable, reliable, and affordable mechanization and energy supplies, among others. This commitment has been renewed with the Africa Agenda 2063 by the African Union. However, challenges facing Africa in the effort to boost farm productivity and rural prosperity are about how to make agriculture more of a commercial enterprise so that it generates the cash needed for continued and sustainable investment. How to strengthen the investment climate to attract funds from international investors. How to overcome the fragmentation of markets. How to exploit the food chain and value addition opportunities at rural level to create employment. How to overcome the skills bottlenecks so that modern technology may be adequately supported. How to approach climate change, recognizing its dangers and planning cultural and technical adaptation in mitigation of potential problems. How to approach the possibility of energy shortages resulting from the future scarcity and cost of fossil fuels. How to mechanize agriculture in a sustainable way without precipitating environmental deterioration. Therefore, in order to boost farm productivity, we need to, among others, promote inclusive business models. For example, we could do a diagnostic mapping, identifying buyers with a potential and willingness to become active business partners for smallholder suppliers and to drive inclusive growth in the agricultural value chain. For example, in Malawi, we have a company, an Indian company, ETG, which is involved in agricultural inputs and output markets and has a network of several outlets in Malawi, providing markets to smallholder farmers across the country. And this business relationship can be strengthened with farmers through formal marketing contracts or offtake agreements with farmer organizations. Identifying farmer organizations and small and medium-sized enterprises most capable of responding to the targeted buyers' needs. Convening producers and buyers to improve business relationships, document business transactions, identify bottlenecks and resolve ongoing disputes. Developing strategies for each business relationship to address the identified bottlenecks in business models, assisting the implementation of upgraded business models, for example, through training of farm organizations and small and medium enterprises in business management and processing techniques.
Mr. Nyong'o, please come to the final remarks.
I'm almost through. Carrying out activities related to inclusive business models in close collaboration with national commodity platforms, national chambers of commerce, SME associations, National Farmers Federation, agribusiness teams in the Ministry of Agriculture and Trade, focusing on problems related to the management of seed systems through sharing of various experiences to promote sustainable seed supply developing strategies in collaboration with local research institutes and agro-dealer networks for sustainable increased access to high-yield quality seeds and high-quality inputs. We have a very good example in Malawi with the work that Equisat has been spearheading in breeding for groundnuts and pigeon peas. Training of farmers and adoption of environmental sound agronomic practices, input use efficiency, and natural resource management. So in short, that's what I thought I could present in terms of how we can boost our farm level productivity in Africa, but also in Malawi in particular. Thank you, Moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's very much interesting. Malawi has a powerful resources. The lake, it's a wonderful resource for Malawi to develop his own, let me say, agriculture in the profitably and in more efficient way. So thank you so much. So I try to go back to Dr. Oke, if you can join us, and hopefully he has solved the microphone issues. Dr. Oke. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Sorry. Again, it's not working. I kindly ask the team to maybe to fix your microphone somehow. And since the time is very short, I will jump to the next panelist. So I'm asking to come on stage, Mr. Jen, which is a Chief Treasury Officer for ETG, which has been called by Malawi also. ETG has developed into a global player with a diverse portfolio of expertise across various industries, encompassing agriculture inputs, logistics, merchandising, food processing, and supply chain optimization. The group has a global presence across 48 countries spanning 5 continents. So, Mr. Jen, please, the stage of yours. Kindly be, let me say, within the proper time frame. Thank you.
Thank you, Moderator, and good afternoon from Dubai to all the honorable guests and members, and to the audience. For the people who are coming across to ETG name for the first time, just a quick introduction. ETG is an agricultural conglomerate. We are operating across 48 countries globally, 29 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. And we are pioneers in many of the agricultural commodities and input program. Today's topic is very much aligned with the objective of ETG, which is enhancing the agriculture and food output from Africa. After operating in Africa in last more than 50 years, we have minutely observed as an organization and as a corporate that how we can partner with local governments as well as the local smallholder farmers, cooperatives, and self-help groups to ensure that the farm agriculture productivity can be enhanced. Given our pedigree in the African sector, ETG is one of the largest importers and distributors of fertilizer and farm inputs to Africa. As an organization, we have adopted multiple ways and methods which allows us to work with farmers and enhance their productivity on their own field. To start with, we institute the program where we work with the smallholder farmers across more than 20 countries and give them technical assistance, agronomy services, as well as seed and fertilizer input training program, which help the farmers to see how they can use specialized kind of fertilizers, farm inputs, and seeds that will enhance their productivity. Also, we help the farmer in the full life cycle of the plantation, which means the moment a farmer completes the harvesting of the crop, we collaborate with the farmers to provide agronomy services in preparing their land, then advising them that what kind of seeds that they will use to produce different kind of products, whether they want to produce fruits and vegetables or they want to produce grains and oil seeds. Beside the seed development program, we also offer application of specialized fertilizers and agrochemicals that also helps farmer to improve the yield and productivity on their farms. And then we work with selected group of farmers to provide them technology access for precision farming. For example, we have recently launched a project in Kenya, which helps the farmers to take the advantage of drone assisted agriculture techniques where the drones capture the soil and the plant data and give the analytical feeds to the farmers to see which areas of the farms require more irrigation, water, and probably taking care of the field in a dynamic manner. Based on these kind of interventions, we have seen the farmers increasing the productivity of their land by as much as 300%. Over a period of time, it has helped the farmers to improve their income by 60% to 150%, depending on each country, what kind of program that they are running. Also, what we have done as a value added program for the farmers for enhancing the productivity from Africa is to reduce the post-harvest food losses, which is also measured as PFHL. I would like to share with the audience that in the era of 1970s and 1980s, the total post-harvest food loss across African continent was as high as 55% of the total produce, which means that if the farmer is producing 100 metric ton of wheat or grains from his field, almost 55% of that goes to waste, either because the farmer doesn't have a right warehousing or logistics or storage technique. So ETG operates more than 500 warehouses across African continent, and we buy from the farmers at the farm gate level, where farmers don't need to worry about storing these products at their own farms. And this will not only enhance the yield towards the farmer, but it also reduces the post-harvest food loss. With an intervention of last 50 years, we have seen that in many countries, this post-harvest food loss has reduced from 55% to as low as 30%. We are still making good progress in reducing this in certain areas where the farmers are still dispersed, but these results are quite interesting. So given the kind of interventions that we can do as a corporate organization, we have so far touched lives of more than 2 million farmers across the African continent and provided direct agronomy services to more than 250,000 farmers. This also involves enabling them to right of the crop selection, as well as access to the markets where they can take their produce to the final level. Considering that we have limited time here, I would like to conclude my remarks here and hand it back to the moderator. And towards the end, I will be happy to take any questions that the audience may have. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A big pleasure to meet you and to share your and your company experience, which might be, let me say, very important since the age of the since the age of activity, the number of years of activity in Africa in supporting farming. So I'll keep Nigeria for last, and I inviting on stage now the Mr. Rao, Narashima Rao, which is Assistant Vice President and Head of Export for Coromandel International Ltd. Coromandel International Limited, which will be presented afterwards, is amongst Indian pioneer and leading agri-solution provider offering diverse products and services across the farming value chain. It operates in two major segments, nutrient and other allied businesses and crop protection. So I hope I've told properly, Dr. Rao. So very happy to get your acquaintance. So stage is yours. Please address.
Yeah, thanks, Marcelo. Thanks for a nice introduction on the company. Distinguished Agriculture Minister Dr. Karim, His Excellency Muda, Joint Secretary, and my fellow distinguished ladies and gentlemen and the participants. First of all, let me thank CII for organizing this program, which is very vital at this point of time, which will benefit both India and Africa in improving the crop productivity. I will give a small background on the company, on the Coromandel, just for a couple of seconds, and then I will deep dive into the African situation. Coromandel has many firsts to its credit. In fact, this is the first company which started working on the biological products in the way back in 1990s. At that time, biologicals were seen as a snake oil products. Nobody believed in those products. But right now, biologicals became a mainstay products. Similarly, Coromandel is the first company in India which introduced chemical fertilizers by way of single superphosphate. We have a long association with the farming community, and we work very closely with the growers in more than 70 countries across the globe. In fact, Anish is one of our partners for African markets. The goal is to not only provide quality inputs, the goal is also enable the growers to improve the farm productivity by using these inputs in a right and a correct way, which will enable to reduce the environmental footprint of these products. Coming to the Africa, I see Africa as a hidden jewel in the crop productivity or in the agriculture. Why I say that was, if you look into the acreage area available for cultivation, which is 400 million hectares plus, which when we compare with Europe, Europe has only 250 million hectares. So definitely by 2030, globally, people require more than 10,000 million tons of food. And the way urbanization is happening everywhere, land bank for agriculture is coming down, which is putting a lot of pressure for improving the crop productivity. But after a certain point of time, crop productivity may not give you a solution to meet the growing food requirements across the globe. So then African land bank will become a major land bank, which can be used to feed the global population. If you look into the African agriculture at this point of time, it reminds me the Indian situation, how the agriculture looked like 10 years or 15 years back. At the time, India also is in the same platform where the productivity is very poor, as our Joint Secretary has said. Low productivity, people are not interested in agriculture, the lot of credit, debts and all that. But see how India has taken this agriculture forward, and now we are in the global standing. I expect the same way Africa to become a champion in the global food productivity. And for that, I say that there are 7 critical elements or critical activities that will propel the Africa into the world stage. The first one is the start using the high yielding crops. Right now, if you see most of the acreage in Africa, they are using the local varieties, which is one of the main reasons for low productivities. But as per CGIAR data, if you are investing $1 in plant breeding, it will lead to $6 in benefits. So the first and fundamental aspect which the African governments need to consider is start developing high-yielding hybrids to improve the crop productivity. And the second important aspect in terms of improving the farm productivity is the boosting the irrigation levels. As you know, there's a lot of yield difference between an irrigated field and the rain-fed yields. If you see in a irrigated, average yields of irrigated farms are 90% higher than the rainfed farms. So irrigation, there is no need to construct a big dams. Like for example, you take the Gujarat example, wherein the government has constructed a lot of small check dams, whereby what they did was they arrested the flow of water to that local levels, thereby it improved the water table content. That has enabled us to improve the productivity by organizing, by sourcing the irrigation in the right way. And the third important aspect is the usage of the fertilizers. As you know, the fertilizer use efficiency is one of the critical component in ensuring how much return a farmer will get on applying the fertilizers. As you know, the fertilizer use efficiencies are very, very low. Even in India, the fertilizer use efficiencies of urea is close to 30-35%, which has gone up significantly after government has started introducing neem-coated urea. So similar initiatives the African governments need to take to improve the fertilizer use efficiency on two fronts. One is to reduce the environmental footprint of the bad effects of the usage of these fertilizers in terms of leaching, water, mixing of fertilizers with water ponds and all that, and also to bring down the costs being used by the farmer. So a right way of educating the fertilizers on usage of the fertilizers will definitely boost the income by 61%, which has been documented in East Africa. So the success stories what East African governments have got it need to be replicated across Africa. And another important aspect which governments need to consider was improving the market access, the regulations and the governance. Unless until the rural infrastructure is improved, such as like roads, which is very, very critical in moving the produce from the production area to the consuming area. As Anish earlier has said, there is a 55% of yield is getting lost on various factors. One of the factor is lack of market access. If there is an improved market access, perishable goods can reach the consuming places faster and can be liquidated and can be sold at a competitive prices, which will fetch higher returns to the farmers. And also a better education to the farmers on usage of agri inputs will enable the farmer to improve the productivity. Farmer is a scientist on his own. He will try to do all sorts of things for improving his productivity. You teach him the right methodology for doing the things, and he will take it and he will ensure that his productivity is improved. All those lessons you have seen it in both in the developed countries and also countries like India. And the fifth important aspect is the leveraging the current information technology. As you know, information technology became so pervasive nowadays. Even you go to any city, any town, whether it in Africa, or whether it in India, or whether it in developed countries, every person has a mobile phone with an internet connectivity. So can here it is the industries, governments, research institutes, they all can pull together, leverage this information technology and provide necessary inputs to the farmers by way of one-stop solutions. Can we assist the farmers in taking a right decisions on usage of agri inputs, sources of credit, providing information on where he can get a credit, and also providing information on weather, pest complex, so that he can take a right choices for controlling those pest problems, thereby improving the productivity, and also provide inputs on the output prices, so that farmer can take a judicious call in improving his productivity. And this doesn't cost much and it can be done very fast. Like earlier, if you see, there used to be a mission called pager. Everybody thought that pagers will sustain, but once mobile came into picture, pager industry wiped out in a matter of time. So same, I'm expecting it here. Leveraging this information technology, farmer will be much more educated in terms of using the agri inputs for improving the productivity. And as Mr. Muda has also said, there need to be some land reforms in terms of giving a clear access to the ownerships, and also has to give a clearly defined property rights with security, so that the farmer can, if necessary, can pledge his land to buy the inputs at affordable interest rates, and then use agri inputs in a right way to improve the productivity. And the last but not the least is the creating an agricultural value chains. As you know, now African agriculture is also now transforming from a cereal-based cultivation to fruits and vegetables cultivation, basically because the per capita requirement is going up, and when the spending power goes up, the diet will change from a cereal-based diet to a meat-based or a vegetable and a fruit-based diet. So if you can facilitate these small holders, most of the, like in India, most of the African farmers have a land holding of less than 2 hectares. So if you can facilitate all these small farm holders to form a cooperative or form a groups, thereby they can get that scale of economies for purchasing the inputs or for sale of those producers, so that they can improve the productivity, and also they can improve their livelihood leveraging the agriculture.
Okay.
So this,
please, Mr. Rao, please come to the...
With this, I conclude my things. Thanks, Marcelo, for giving me this opportunity. If any questions are there, I will take it in the end. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rao, for the very interesting speech, and also for the passion you put in the things. So I give now the word to Dr. Arvind Kumar, which is Deputy Director General Research and the Regional Director for ICRISAT. I hope to pronounce properly. The International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics is an international organization which conducts agricultural research for rural development, with research stations in Niger, Nigeria, Malawi, Ethiopia, Zimbabwe. It was founded in 1972 by a consortium of organizations convened by the Ford and the Rockefeller Foundation. Its charter was signed by the FAO and the UNDP. So, Mr. Kumar, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Marcelo, for the introduction about me, and as well as for the institute. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, based on where you are. His Excellency Dr. Abubakar Karim, Minister of Agriculture and Forestry, Republic of Sierra Leone. Respected Mr. Sebla and Mude, Joint Secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India, and fellow panelists. On behalf of ICRISAT, it's my proud privilege to bring some of the points on boosting the agriculture productivity in Africa, and with respect to research that we have been doing. ICRISAT as an institute have been working for long on developing the improved varieties of the different crops. And in fact, the productivity increase starts from cultivating the most improved variety. And in fact, ICRISAT feels proud that the ICRISAT developed varieties, around 523 varieties, for sorghum, pearl millet, chickpea, pigeon pea, and groundnut, and finger millets are being cultivated in Africa. And in fact, this is from where the productivity increases. But added to this is that we must have an efficient seed system, and which has been lacking in Africa for long. Seed system cannot just depend upon the public sector, but probably we need to see more public-private partnership for the seed system, so that the quality seed is made available to the farmers on time. And I'm very happy to share the recent news that, in Africa, bringing the learnings from India on the legumes, having the pulse production increase in India receiving the self-sufficiency in the pulse production, we took these learnings into Africa. And we provided 266 varieties to different countries, and around 500,000 tons of the seed, improved seed, which led to the increase of the productivity, and in fact, it contributed to 3.2 billion USD dollars. And in fact, we could benefit around 25 million farmers. I'm very happy to share that just on September 8, ICRISAT was awarded with the Africa Food Prize selected from among the 500 applicants. And that is where we say that, you know, the integration of crop improvement with the efficient seed system is necessary. It is necessary that we create demand for the seed, and we also train farmers that what are the benefits of this seed system of using the high quality seed. Our previous speaker very nicely said what we are doing in Malawi, where we are working on the seed revolving fund, and we have benefited thousands of farmers. Now, equally important to crop productivity increase from the research point of view is the natural resource management. Whether this is in situ water conservation, which helps you to provide irrigation at the time, but also for increasing the cropping intensity. And then the climate resilience, the adaptation and mitigation for the climate changes, which includes that we cultivate climate resilient varieties which are more drought tolerant, and also we undertake the measures based on the updated climate information. We have been working towards the climate smart villages in many of the countries in Africa. And added to this is the soil test based nutrient application, which is very necessary, and that is where we also need more public private sector engagement, not only for demonstrating the benefits of the soil test based nutrient application, but also for enhancing the knowledge of the farmers. We worked in West and Central Africa about the fertilizer microdosing, especially for millets, and we saw that the increase in productivity ranged from 40% to 120%. Now, some of the speakers talked about the digital agriculture, and I will talk about digital agriculture from 2 points. One is the accurate weather information, but also for the agriculture input availability, on-time availability. And again, whether we do it through public-private partnership, and also about the small farm mechanization, which is must in Africa. And in fact, there is a lot of learning that we can take it from India, that how India has transformed its smallholder farmers, shifted towards using the mechanized form of the cultivation. And of course, for millets and legumes, the crop on which we work, food processing is very necessary, not only for their acceptance by consumers, but also for the industry, and also increasing the shelf life. And in fact, ICRISAT has worked with the government of India and have supported the agribusiness entrepreneurship, creating value chain processing in over last many years. We established food processing business incubation centers in many countries. We also established food testing laboratories in different countries. Agroforestry and livestock are also equally important, which helps not only to restore the degraded lands through soil conservation practices, proper slope, bunding, and also planting agroforestry tree. And the livestock help farmers to maintain the sustainable income. As many of the previous speakers have talked about, the crop insurance for the smallholder farmers, it is very necessary, not only to recover their losses and sustain and survive, but also to encourage them to apply the agri inputs. Then they are less afraid of losing their product. They are encouraged more to apply the inputs. Of course, public-private partnership and creating the supply-demand balance on which some of the countries are working is necessary. Second last point that I would like to bring is about the women empowerment. Now, if we empower women, not only for the land holding, but also we train them for the agriculture practices, it has been seen that you have the greater advantage of productivity increase. Last but not least is about the capacity development of the farmers, on which we need to work more. All the knowledge that we have must reach to the farmers, and also encourage farmers to go towards to follow the community of practices which we demonstrate and then try to disseminate to larger farmers. With this, I thank the CIA for the opportunity to speak at this forum and also for the ability to interact with many of the people who are working in Africa. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar, for the interesting content and also for having touched some points which are more than important. Last for and not least, the women empowerment. Now I'll try to give the word to Dr. Oki. Hopefully, it will be able to join us. Dr. Oki, can you come on stage, please? And your mic is off, so you should take the mic on and then address ourselves. Please. It's mic is off, Dr. Oki. Still off. Can you try to put the mic on? Okay, stage is yours. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. His Excellency and the moderator, the CIA, I really thank you for giving me the opportunity to represent African farmers, all farmers associations of Nigeria, of which I belong, and to represent my country in this summit. Firstly, I have to start with the program of which boosting farm level productivities. How do we do it? We have to assist our farmers. And how do we do that? We've been doing much in the area of irrigation, in the area of solar, like provisions of solar, land preparation for crops farmers, especially those that are in arable. And we wanted to work closely with public-private partnership. And we can't do all these things alone as a farmer, representing farmers in Nigeria, and let me talk about in Africa. We have to work closely with the government. So we want government to assist farmers in the provisions of these areas. Nigeria, let me make it as a study case. We are over 200 population, and the highest in the Africa, population in the Africa. And we have to provide food to the tables of every Nigerian. How do we do it? The lands are available in everywhere, but is it being cultivated? Only about 20 to 30% of the land that is available is being cultivated. I can quote instance of Sambisa, where some hoodlums and people are taking most things in Nigeria. If a partner in irrigation or someone that has those machines collaborate with farmers in Nigeria, definitely we are going to ease the problems of food security, which is on getting more food on the tables of everybody, especially in Africa. So in this area, we are soliciting support, and we are asking government and private people, let us coerce, let us come together, let us assist, especially small-scale farmers, to improve in all what they are doing. We thank the government of our country recently. They are doing much in the area of fertilizer. They have started to establish some fertilizer companies, seeds companies, and all what have you. But we still need countries like India, other countries too, for us to work closely, for us to come together, to bring food peace in Africa. We have seen what is happening in the rice exportation from India, especially too in Nigeria now. Rice has been our major staple food in Nigeria, of which I can see. But today, government have taken it up, assisting farmers, doing a lot of things over there for us to now establish, and which I can quote some states, like my Lagos state, Kebbi states, and some other area. So in Africa as a whole, and to what I've seen from the other panelists, that India too, they are major in rice. So we can work closely in this sector. We are the advocacy for the government. We are the middleman between the government and the African Development Bank is there. Let us collaborate with the NGOs, which are the farmers. We can stand by ourselves by saying we guarantee for everything that will come on board, like the machines, the machineries that we use. Because in the small scale orders of which I will speak on, there is not much of them that can be on themselves, because they will need the fund. Where would they get it from? If not because from the government and some other agencies. So we are working closely. We want other agencies. We want states, the countries of which they pull. Let us come together in Africa to boost farming, to assist where, and I'm sure our people too are ready to give out lands. Because when we talk of lands in some areas, you will see that it's virgin. I was opportune to attend post-harvest loss program in US. I saw how fertile they were able to plant. So let's replicate most of all these things in Africa. Let it come on board. Where those having the machines, the companies in that direction, let them come to us. We can easily have a partnership for us to plant. After the plantation, we now sell. Then we now share the proceeds. So those are the areas that I think boosting farm level in this productivity can even easily take up. And I'm so glad Malawi, Uganda, that are on board, that we can come together as to what we are doing today. Because this is an opportunity for us to now say we want partnership. Nigeria is, to us, is the highest and the largest country so far in Africa, of our population increasing every day. And thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you. Yes, Dr. Okay. So for your interesting speech. So unluckily we have let me say we went a little bit longer than expected. So there's not much time for question, etc. So I come to the conclusions and then to the vote of thanks. So the thanks CII, Confederation of Indian Industry, for organizing this meeting, and it's been a pleasure working with you all. The thanks for the Ministry of External Affairs for sponsoring this meeting, quite useful. Let me give a special thank to the His Excellency Dr. Abu Bakr Karim and the Honorable Mr. Mude, as well as the panelists, Dr. Oke, Mr. Nirongo from Malawi, Mr. Jen, which has joined another meeting. Then also Dr. Rao, which for Coromandel, and Dr. Kumar for ICRISAT. So we had I think a very good, very important learning from all the panelists. So thank you all. It's been a pleasure meeting you all. I think again it has been strengthened, the relationship between India and Africa. So and then in more on these speeches has been, let me say, highlighted again and again how Africa can take, let me say, example out of India is not just a matter of material or supply or something, but it's a example because the history is telling us that what India has faced starting from the 70s, it's something that Africa can probably, let me say, again and replicate in a more accelerated way. So thank you all. It has been a pleasure. And of course, thank you to all the attendees and the participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye.